Okay. We also have Naveen who has joined. Hi, Naveen. We are just
Hi,
doing a
good
quick
evening. This is
round of
Gauri.
introductions. Would you
Yeah,
like to
I'm
just quickly introduce yourself?
sure. Good evening. I'm Commander Naveen Badrinarayan. I'm from the India, retired from the Indian Navy 10 years back. And last
Hmm.
10 years, I'm the co-founder of a company called Jeevan Pravas Life Mentoring Services. So we provide mentoring to youth 13 years and above till 25 years with parents. So we do a complete holistic life mentoring, which is based on a four-quadrant approach of, building your career directions, also
Sure.
your social capabilities, your mental health and physical health. And it's based on the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads about connecting the Swabhava to the Swadharma and, building a happy life. So we are a happy family. So that's the work that we do. So we have created a complete portal based on, and we want to spread out to the masses. So I looked at your profile and it kind of vibrations were like too much of resonance was happening. So I said, I must
Sure,
attend your
sure.
session. Thank you so
Super.
much for
Thank
having.
you. Thank you. Welcome. Uh, okay, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I am Ratnesh, and me and my wife Aditi, we were working with children, and then we started Aarohi Life Education primarily. Obviously, our whole motivation started with our own daughter. We weren't very much enjoying the schooling or the education that she was getting. We thought she will enjoy more if she could do what she wanted to do, as simple as that. And that's when we pulled her out of the school. And that time our youngest son was much younger. Um, and that is how our journey started. And very soon, within a year, more parents joined us, and then we formed Arohi, right? So that's I'll come back to my children a little later. Let me straight away get into kind of little sharing. But before that, we have a couple of more people who have joined in. We have Neha, we have Nitya, and also Preeti. Would you all like to quickly say hello? Others have introduced. Just say hello and a line about yourself. That would be very nice.
Hi, I'm a parent of a 16-year-old and also a school head. So looking to learn today.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Preeti. Welcome. Um, right. If you're not able to come on mic, that's okay. You can also introduce yourself on the chat. Either way is fine.
Hi, this is Nitya here,
Yeah, hi,
and I am
Nitya.
a career counselor, and I'm also teaching business studies to students in the ninth and 10th in the IGCSE board, and I am also a mother to a 10-year-old.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, Nitya. And yeah, Neha is saying she's a practicing counselor in a private school. So I'm very excited to have so many people playing such pivotal roles in the life of children as counselors, guides, coaches with us today. Um, Okay, so let me first. Okay, yeah, and all of us, yeah, in some way, are parents also. So that's always the case. As I was saying, we also started our journey with our own daughter. We pulled her out of the school, and she never went back to school. So, okay, to complete story of my two children, my daughter never went back to school after fourth when we pulled her out. Not because she was actually enjoying school. She was an A plus student, and that was not a good news for us. We said, oh, if you are getting A plus in everything, you aren't learning much, according to us. You should be learning much more. You should be failing much more. So we pulled her out, and she's now 26. And she never went back to school. No 10th, 12th, no college, no degrees, nothing. She's a professional in the field of sustainability. She also runs her own entrepreneurship also. So that's about my daughter. My son also did not, because he was younger, he never ever went to school. And he's now 20 years. Again, no school, no college, no 10, no 12, no degrees, no certificates. He's a professional. He and one of his uh, friend who has also, like him, who has not gone to school, college, they both have together started an agency of their own. They do digital marketing right now. So that's about my two children. But obviously, we have worked with lots and lots and lots of children and family. And I want to quickly tell you what we have been doing, because we think somewhere we think that this can be something which can make a difference in a lot of people's life, a lot of children's life and parents' life. So let me quickly start. I will little talk about first the education part and then a little about Aarohi part. So that's the two part. So what we observe is that a whole lot of children enjoy and thrive in conventional system, and that's great. Children who are able to do well, well, if they are doing well, they will go places and so on. But there are a whole lot of children, we think around 40% in any group of children, who are not really there, who are not the 90 percentagers or the toppers or whatever, and they're not really enjoying them, and somehow the system is so designed it kind of puts them down. It actually puts a lot of trouble on these children if they're not thriving in the system. Uh, I, I want to quickly go through what it does. So one, obviously the most important obvious one is it puts a lot of social and parental pressure on the child. But we say, hey, why are we pushing the child for more marks? Because marks are not the worth of anyone. We all would agree to that. Why not let the child pull us in the direction that the child has energy or strength, or skills, or capabilities? So that's the first thought. The second one, obviously, they go through a lot of self-esteem issue, mental health issues, but especially with respect to a lot of exams and the result that comes out of an exam, we say, hey, but life is a more beautiful exam, so why not let the life lead them um, rather than putting them under so much of mental health, emotional health issues. So for us, mental health, it does matter in a long term. Uh, Also, they go through a lot of punishments and harsh treatments. Somehow, if you're on the lower half, I was one of them in school myself. So I've been through that experience, that what happens when you are not there, and somehow you get the most most punishments. So we believe that if we can lift this whole idea that you should succeed in the way everybody else is succeeding, then they can soar in their own way. Um, we also want to really show to parents that, hey, success isn't just about few exams and few college or few degrees. The world is full of possibilities today. The world is very, very vibrant. There's so many professions, so many people who study something and actually do something else. Their actual degrees were God knows in what, and now they are doing something else, right? So that's the beauty of this beautiful world. So why get trapped with that? And yeah, if you really have a passion, if you find your passion, then all you need is to build skills in that passion area, and then you can actually build a good, even secure financially, job employment wise secure future for yourself. So that's the kind of picture I think is required to be given to the children. um, so in some ways we are questioning, somewhere we feel so much in love with the education system that we forget the child. Education system is great to whom it serves well. To whom it does not serve well, we don't have to kind of put the child down below the education system and give the education system more important by giving them more tuitions or more of this and more of that. So we need to really take stock of, hey, whose side are we on? um, so what we have done is we have not tried, we've built an education which fits the child and work with the child on an ongoing basis with that aspect, right? So we actually work with children on a continuous basis, and these children, for the time that they are with us, which could be typically is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. There's no one figure to it. Each child decides. So we work with the child, and the child in those years does not go to school or college or wherever the child does not want to go, and rather works on oneself. Right. I want to share 2, 3 small quick case studies just to give you an idea of how things work very quickly. Yeah. So those are recorded recordings of the child and the parents. So yeah, be with me and just little watch this. Let's watch a story of Twish. For 2 minutes.
Hey, I'm Kanchan.
I'm Lalit. I'm Dwesh.
He joined Aarohi in 2015. Dwesha was there for around 5 years. And then after that, he did his 10th and 12th through NIOS. And Now he's doing BCA. He did his schooling, completed his 6th standard, and 7th standard we took him out and we got him in Aarohi. Reason being that he was very stressed out and there was a lot of pressure on him there. So we thought we wanted a place where he could be happy and he could explore his options and he could find himself basically. I'm very thankful to Aarohi, which gave him a lot of exposure, basic life skills, and a lot of maturity to handle issues that even I've seen grown-ups struggle with.
I learned a lot in Aarohi. I learned about responsibilities of an adult. I learned how to develop skills, managing myself, and not being dependent on my parents. I learned how to explore my options. I learned how to study by myself. I learned how to do almost everything, and I learned how to control my emotions as well. I learned a lot of things from Aarohi, and one of them I can say that I have now most because of Aarohi is my confidence. My level of confidence before Aarohi was really terrible, but after joining it, I have become more of a confident person. I can speak my mind clearly without having to hold back or be scared or anxious about my own thoughts. So it's taking care of my physical, mental health, and it's been great.
Based on that, after Aarohi, he has taken up 10th and 12th of his own, did very well. Based on that, got the admission for graduation, his choice, whatever he wanted to. He is doing pretty well, and he is confident of achieving what he aimed.
I'm
So if you really think about it, what gave him confidence? Well, he says Aarohi gave him, but we did not give him confidence. We cannot give anybody confidence. His own working in the areas that he loves and then creating his own kind of achievements out of what he likes doing gave him confidence. So we could only give him that kind of an environment where he could go ahead and achieve what he wanted to achieve. I want to share one more example. In this particular case, the child herself is not so much struggling with the education, unlike Tuisha, but in her case, well, she was just lost. So many children are just lost, not knowing where to go. What am I supposed to make out of my own life? Let's hear in her own words.
In the beginning, I was totally confused and didn't know what I wanted to do more. I used to just sit simply. Then I somehow got the fear inside myself. Okay, what will my future be? What will happen after this? I had a lot of confusion. Did I take the right decision and all this? That's when I started exploring a lot of different fields like art, music, carpentry, electronics. After joining City, first I chose the electronics and art as my domain. But I somehow, with electronics, didn't feel, I didn't enjoy that journey much. I still like arts, but I somehow feel it's not my passion. It's like my hobby, which I like to do in my free time and leisure time. That's when I started thinking which made me really happy from the past. Which domain did I really like doing and exploring from the past days which I've explored. That's when I thought I liked mud construction. In the beginning, I
Okay, so before I go on with this slide, I just want to share that in Aparna's case, what is interesting is that she had to find herself. She explored so many different things. So she came to us when she was 12. Now she's 15. She's still with us, and she has spent a whole lot of time doing different things to really understand what is it that attracts her. And now she is into mud construction. She has already done multiple projects with different construction architects, and she has done internships. And she's like almost like a semi-professional already, ready to build her career further in this and take it forward. So that was a little about somebody who is lost and would need to find herself by doing work, not by not just by just thinking, but actually doing stuff. So quickly, what does Aarohi believe in? The first thing that Aarohi believes in is that it's the child's responsibility, or rather, child is responsible for himself or herself. The moment we give the child that responsibility, the whole life kind of changes, because when they start taking responsibility of themselves, then they start looking at themselves in different ways, whether it's emotional responsibility, social responsibility, learning responsibility, getting work done responsibility, and so on, all kinds of responsibilities. The second thing is the whole idea of play around with things, do things, fail in everything that you do, because that's so much fun to fail, or to be allowed to fail, to have that joy of failing and trying and making and whatever they are doing. So that's something so core, and that brings out their real energy, their real creativity. The third thing is we are very much okay with all kinds of, as I said, failure, as well as all kinds of errors, omissions. So we are not expecting an ideal child at any point of time, not that we are any ideal person. But what we realize is they're constantly working on their capabilities and growing their capabilities. So we are focusing on what they are capable of, not what they are not capable of. And that focusing on what they're capable of builds whatever else they want to be capable of. So that's the interesting aspect that we look at. Obviously, we work with complete acceptance to the child, and that's very, very important for us, because each child comes with a different, as a different human being to us. Also, we see that the learning of anything, whether it's discipline, or whether it's to build resilience, or whether it's to create their own life, is a process. It's not something which they will just do and suddenly shine and suddenly come up to our expectation. So that's also very important vis-a-vis parents. We have to make them understand how learning is a long-term journey. It's not something which is going to happen in just a little while. Obviously, when children are together, not just with children, but lots of adults around, and it's a whole community, then the energy is totally different. We all thoroughly enjoy ourselves, right from early morning, playing lots of sports and lots of stuff, doing cooking, cleaning the whole campus, and doing everything together. So we can kind of live like a community together and literally do everything together, obviously in different groups and teams. And obviously, the key aspect that we bring in is a lot of support for the child. It's not that the child is left alone, but the child is always surrounded by not just us as in mentors, but also by parents, other children's parents. So parents are very, very integral to how we work with. The parents are totally involved and engaged with the actual journey of the child, including physically coming here as and when they come. Even if they can't physically come here, they are online, pulled in every week, connecting, discussing. We are doing activities together, even with the parents online, if the parents are in other cities, right? So what does Aarohi do? Well, we focus on that particular child, his or her passions, strengths, capabilities. You've got that by now. I want to share one more quick video of what that does when we start just focusing on what the child is capable of, rather than what the child is not capable of. One last little video.
From 9 years and 10 years and 11 years, we could find that not able to read or write very well. She is not able to connect the figures with the sound of it. So that is why she is not able to read and comprehend from reading. Then we saw that the entire school system is based on reading only, because all knowledge you have to gather from reading, and you are tested on that. By writing it and by saying it, at those fronts it is very difficult. But she is very intelligent. Her intelligence levels we could see from different activities and the way she see and perceive things and relates. In academically, she was not finding it easy. A lot of challenges. Then by searching, we reached somehow to Aarohi, which is exactly how anybody, is not about the child is a dyslexic child or not, to thrive. Aarohi inspires and gives a platform. The entire environment is given to the child and get the joy of learning in his own unique ways. Aarohi is an example of total acceptance, where all the different ways, your faults, your qualities, everything is accepted at the same level. Aarohi lives by the statement that there is no judgment. Found Aarohi, there is no looking back. First, we came for a one experience week with the entire family. All three of us liked so much. Just a year back, she joined Aarohi. After joining Aarohi, she has started blooming. How could a 13-year-old can plan a trip like that by herself, meticulously plan and then also execute it? So this is what Aarohi can do to a child. She has this confidence in her back to read, to write, to speak. She has started finding out herself.
मैं ड्राइंग करती हूँ, पेंटिंग, सिंगिंग, एडिटिंग, हैकिंग, मंडला। आरोही में मेरे को बहुत मज़ा आता है। यहाँ पर बहुत कुछ करते हैं। मेंटर हमें गाइड करते हैं डेली बेसिस में, कि हमें सपोर्ट करते हैं और हम अपने इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से चलते हैं। यहाँ पर बहुत सारे बच्चे एल्डर्स हैं, यहाँ पर उन सब के साथ बहुत मज़ा आता है, खेलने में, बात करने में, बहुत न्यू चीज़ जानने में मज़ा आती है। आरोही में फ्रीडम मिलती है, आपकी जो इच्छा है आप कर सकते हो, आप में जो क्वालिटी है आप अपने को ढूंढ सकते हो।
Okay, so now what I want to give a little now more specific to how we do all of this. So one is we have this little, you can say 4 stages where the child, not just children, all of us need a lot of exposure, but when children are younger, they need a lot of exposure. As they get a lot of exposures, they grow a little older, they get into exploration phase where they start exploring what they like doing, like how Mehuli was talking about just now. And as they grow into their teenage years, especially 15, 16, 17, 18, they start getting into expertise stages where, like how Aparna was talking about, she was getting into mud construction. So they get deeply involved into the real world. They go out, do client projects, they do internships, they work in the industry, as well as they work on their own skills in that particular field. And once they reach there, then they can move on to the enterprise stage, which is finding a job or starting their own work. Right. Obviously, at any stage, they can go back to the conventional system. They can go back to giving, let's say, 10th, 12th, or if they have come at the school level, or going back to the college level. So all of that is absolutely feasible once they have figured out, once they have kind of found their own dignity, then they can move back. Yeah. So what we actually do is, number one, we work with the child and the parents together and create a personalized learning plan. Let me give you a quick example. This is Mishti. When she was 10 or 11, she said that she wanted to write a lot. She likes writing. So we created a personalized plan called Daily Writing, in which she and few others joined in, children as well as adults joined in, would write every day on a prompt. Nobody will evaluate it. Nobody will say any comments, nothing, no suggestion, nothing. Only write every single day. So for the last almost 4 years, 3.5, 4 years, she has been writing every single day. So much so, now the third year of her full third year, which is last year, out of the 365 writings that she did in the last year, in 2024, in January 2025, she has published this book. So that's the power of their own capability and being worked upon by their own efforts. So that's the kind of personalized plan we build, and we also bring in resources, projects, explorations which match their specific needs of skills. So depending on what they are doing, how they are doing it, we can match their specific skills with the kind of explorations or projects or stuff that would help them, including people that can support them. So we don't have to have a lot of people here. We feel that the whole world is our resource. Whole universe is at our disposal. We can go and connect with people and seek. So these children connect with people and seek their mentorship, their guidance. Yeah. Also, they do a lot of real world experience. They do a lot of work in the real world. They travel a lot, meet a lot of people, go to a lot of different places, and also do stuff which is real, which is not just artificial. Like, for example, we have the whole accounts of Aarohi is handled by one child. Now, this is Advay. In 2022-23, he was 11. Now he's 13. So he was 11, and the whole year's accounts he handled, right from making all, understanding debit, credit, making all the entries, making the balance sheet, profit and loss, and so on. So the whole company, and each child will do it for 1 year, and next year we'll get a new accountant, a new child, and so on. So these are the kind of exposures we give. Not that they need to become accountant by this, but the kind of when they interact with the real world, the kind of self understanding and confidence that they get is totally amazing. Yeah, so there are lots of such real world experiences that we bring for them. Obviously, we work a lot on emotions, social skills, self skills, a whole lot of things to do with understanding oneself, a whole lot of processes which we have collected from a whole lot of people across this world. There are so many resources, so many people who have done great work in the field of emotions, understanding self, understanding others, understanding the world around you, and so on. So we do a lot of work in that field. One small example I want to give, every day at the end of the day, we do something called as Hooray, Nore, Sore, where I can say hooray to somebody who did something nice for me, or we can just say Nore to somebody if I did not like what somebody did, or I can say sorry to somebody whom I did something which I think was not a good idea, right? So we can express any of these. We sit in a group and we kind of share this. So we call it as a daily cleanup. Whatever happened during the day, we kind of clean this up and then we restart the next day tomorrow. So that's just an example. Lastly, as I was mentioning, for children who want to go back into conventional degrees, certificate universities, they do that. But who do not want to do that, or teenagers who want to directly now come out of the whole college system, can do their professional journey and work on their professional skills through client projects, through networking, through working with mentors from the industry. So they do this. And the good news is that the industry is very, very, very open, ready, excited with these kind of youth who don't need to have certificates, who don't need to have degrees. As I was telling you at the beginning, my own two children have no 10th, no 12th, no degrees, no certificates. And they're thoroughly enjoying their life, doing what they like doing. And they're very accepted by the industry. That's the beautiful part. So I think the industry has also matured to work based on what we call as work certified rather than just being degree certified. So the work is so much more important. If they can show to people that yes, this is the work that we do. Yeah. So that's pretty much what we do. As I said, we also very closely involve the parents. The children can be at our campus or at home. When they are at home, we guide the parents. When the children are at the campus, the parents guide us, and the parents can be at the campus. We encourage them to be here as much as possible. It's a residential campus, so parents can come and stay, children can come and stay, and we all learn, live together, we all travel, and they can go back home whenever they want. So they can be a child who can say, I will stay in Aarohi 3 months, then 1 month I will be at home, then I'll again come back for 2 months. So each can design their own, you can say, time schedule also based on how they want to live their life. So it's not like that. It's not a pre-created structure. Rather, it's a co-created structure, depending on what the child needs and what the family wants and what is important to him. So there is no pre-created structure. We work with each child based on what the child and the family wants. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, the child can be at our campus. Our campus is about 60 kilometers from Bangalore in a village. That itself lends it's a wild campus. There's so much to explore around. There's very little construction inside our 5-acre campus. We have left it wild for children to do all kinds of things, all kind of explorations. And we love to have families at campus of the children. So that's the kind of community living that we do. What we invite, if you are talking to any parent, guiding any parent, one of the things that is unique to us is that the family can come and stay with us for a week and actually experience it and say, is this for me? Because not everybody would like this place also. We are very sure about it. We have experienced that also. Whoever likes this place, whoever likes the vibe of us and all the work that we do and the kind of work that we do. So people can come experience for 1 week and then decide whether they want to be part of it. And as I had shared, they can, after minimum is 1 year. After that, they can spend as many years. Some have spent 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Some have gone back to school after 3, 4 years, or given 10, 12 directly, and so on. So those are different permutation combinations that are possible. Yeah. Okay, I think I can pause here. I just wanted to show one more video. I wanted to show, this video.
So she's in the area of counseling. So I asked her, what do I do with this child? He doesn't want to get into math, science, or not even commerce, or even literature if I want him. He doesn't want to go to college. What do I do? She said, what are his strengths? I said, he can't do math properly. He can't speak the language the way I speak because again, it requires learning and he doesn't want to learn. He doesn't want me to help him. But what are the other things? Those are not strengths. Those are functional skills to live in a world. But what are his core strengths? What are his natural strengths? I had no answer. Then she told me, go back and again observe your son. See what are his core strengths. That's when I actually observed my son with taking the lens of judgment, because all through these years I was judging him. I was judging him with the lens that the society gave me. So this is how he should be. This is how he should have been at this age. This is how he should have been at this age. And these are the things he should have learned. But what are his natural strengths? I didn't know that.
What if you don't have to go to college to learn something or get a degree? Then you can go to real industry and do work with them. Like how I'm learning by working in car industry with automobile technicians and experts.
Okay, I can stop actually sharing here. Just one moment. So the last story is also very interesting, where one reason I wanted to show to all of you are, most of you are counselors, guides, coaches. I just want to first say you make a lot of difference, believe me. Like in Hari's case, it was a counselor who pushed the mother to see the child's strengths, and while the mother was only operating out of her expectation, when she realized that, then she realized, oh yeah, I'm not seeing the child as child, I'm seeing the child as some function of a system. And the moment she saw the child as child, in just 1 year at Aarohi, he must be here for about 1 year and few months. He found himself, he found his interest of automobiles. And you see, after 10th, he rejected going to school or college. So he didn't go to school or college. And mother was very tense. So the system rejected Hari rejected the system. And in the between, the parents were totally stuck. So finally, when the child spent a year and a half here exploring what he really likes doing and developing the skill in automobiles, which he was really interested, the industry took him in without a degree. He is now, first he has done 2 internships, and now he has a job in a setup which makes the vintage cars working again. And he likes tinkering, and he's a totally hands-on boy. So he likes to work with stuff and get it working and get it, going, so to say. And that's what makes him going. So those are the kind of beauties that we have seen in children's own capabilities and strength. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you. We can have questions, discussions, sharings, whatever you would like to ask me or discuss, and we can see how we can make difference in more children's life, because that is really, really required, I think so. Yeah.
I think Ratesh, fantastic. I mean, I'm really impressed. It's like a fairy tale story what you have just showed us, and I'm really impressed. And hearty congratulations for this kind of a thing, because I've been searching the world for the last 10, 15 years for something like this, and it's wonderful to hear the kind of impact that you're making on youth. And just to add to you, in my last 10 years, my percentages were a bit different. You said 40% of a class. I think it's 80% of a class, not 40%. It's only the 10 to 15%, according to me, my research, which are actually very clear that they want to get into the academically so-called lines of engineering, medical, and so on and so forth. 80% of the class doesn't know what they want to do. And since they don't know, they try to follow the other 10-15%.
Right.
And everybody knows that the gate is a very small gate, not more than 1% or less than 1% are going to get through those entrance exams. But everybody is trying to gun into it, and the market jumps on them and they force them to run behind the same gate. And therefore, there's a big need for organizations like yours to come in and make this difference. And the second part, which I also wanted to add is, which probably will add value, is this 10 to 15% that you spoke of, which you say that they are made for the academic. I think they are not made for the academic world also. Because if you notice the news that came in, 93 students have committed suicide in the last 3 years from the top institutions, from IITs, IIMs, NITs. And that means there is a big problem in our system that these youngsters who are so-called toppers of the school, so-called A+ getters and all that, they're actually not getting prepared to see the real world at all. They're not seeing failures. They're not seeing adversities. They're thinking that they're in the right space. They're just getting marks in school. They're getting into college. So that's the third part. I wanted to ask you, I'm very curious, how many children capacity do you have in your place in 5-acre campus?
Well, we have lots and lots of capacities. We don't have lots and lots of children, which is why I'm doing these webinars. Yeah. No, we have, we have normal, our average is about somewhere around 20 to 25 children who are on a regular basis here. Okay. But that's our average. But we can obviously take in many, many more. I think the capacity is not an issue at all. Right?
Okay.
As of now, basically, when we talk about this with parents especially, what we find is that there's a stiff resistance to stepping out of the, even for a year. We say, okay, just give your child 1 year, invest that year in your child, meaning the child can anyway go back to the system. We have so many stories of children going back to the convention system, but even that is not, let's say, happening neither at the rural level nor at the urban level. So at any level, it is not happening, right? Which is why we are trying to reach out to you all, because I think somewhere when parents get very, very stressed and they don't know what to do, they are the ones who reach out to the counselors and the guides and the career guides and career coaches and parenting coaches. And I think that is where they are ready to more hear you all give choices rather than us telling this in some way. That's what I think. And that's why we are reaching out to all of you. Yeah.
Most happy to help. Is a wonderful initiative, and we are looking forward. I'm literally looking forward to get and come and meet you and maybe spend some time in your place to understand how it works, because it's so wonderful. I think Bangalore and around Bangalore, a lot of these institutions have sprouted up. I heard of another one called Vidya Kshetra also, which is also doing a wonderful work. They are into the Gurukul system, and they have created a Gurukul system with ancient methods and techniques, which is completely different from. Thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah.
We are all probably here because we're all thinking of the same way. That's why this came up on our feed, and which is why we're all here. So I acknowledge that we all probably are going to say yes to everything that you've just said. I think we're all believing that there is a systemic change required, and obviously you have set some path towards getting there. I believe I'm in a space where I've created a school which is called alternative, unfortunately, for lack of a better word. But we are not probably as alternative as we would like to be. We still are in the throes of the system. We are still in that trying to balance between having standardized testing versus offering a completely child-led approach to learning. So we're able to, at the moment, I'm pretty proud of what we've achieved in terms of giving that balance. But what I loved about what you said is the fact that they are learning on the job. And this is the apprenticeship model, which was prevalent in ancient Indian education systems.
Right.
And we've somewhere lost it along the way. So this apprenticeship model and learning on the job, I think, is something which is the need of the hour. And I've seen many colleges which are sprouting up, which don't offer a conventional degree certificate, like the MISA School of Education, Bangalore. MISA is now offering entrepreneurial education but they don't have a degree that goes with it. So the students are going to have a startup, they will run a startup and be coached by mentors, etc., but they will not get a conventional degree. And I've seen this happening with Masters Union, with I think TETO, and these few examples that have come up in India itself, and quite a few examples from across the world where the certification no longer is mattering at whether at the 10th grade or the 12th grade. So I think very much on lines of what you're trying to create. And I think it's a beautiful way that the world is changing. I'm just unhappy with the speed at which things are changing. I wish it
True,
faster,
true. Totally with you.
So I just wanted to share those two things.
Sure. Yes, Nina.
Okay, so I, being from a school, as a school librarian, now I am working with a group called Spectrum, the Awareness Project. So where it's a parent support group that is trying to help the caregivers. Though we are doing it online, we have more than 20,000 parents in our platform who are calling up the experts. So most of them, when they share their story of how their children are treated in a normal school, we talk about being inclusive, but that doesn't happen in reality, because most of the schools, very few schools have special educators, to look after, and some schools don't have. But now I think KV and all the schools have been asked to have special educators. But the parents themselves are educating them because they have to take care of their children, because the child is not accepted anywhere. So looking at your Aarohi, my just question was like, will you be like, if some parent wants, as you say that here the child explores, understands what he or she is capable of, or what they want to do. And if you look at the special kids also, though they are called labeled as special need children, they are very creative. They're very creative and they have lots of abilities, which doesn't get exposure or the right guidance, because the acceptance and awareness is very less. So if any parent wants to bring their child, so will you be ready to
Yes, absolutely. We don't differentiate children as special children or non-special children, whatever. For us, all children are special, period. Everybody is unique, different, and we'll just work with where the child is. Exactly. Why label the child as special needs? Or each one of us have special needs. Each one of us is a special child. So absolutely.
There are many abilities and disabilities that we've just seen and unseen, which we ourselves don't know. It is there within everyone. So, there are parents often who ask, no school is accepting, where to send them?
Yes.
Like,
No, we are completely open to any family, any child, absolutely. And
so
even in terms of financials, if they are not able to contribute anything, if they're financially they are weaker, we will make arrangements of sponsorships and everything. So we are ourselves a charitable trust, so we have well-wishers who will specifically sponsor individual children if they are coming from a low income. So all kinds of children from any aspect is absolutely welcome.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Nitya is also sharing in chat.
Hi.
Yeah, Nitya, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to share my journey of where I am today.
Sure.
Okay, so I was a very high performing student till the 10th. And I always wanted to be a psychologist. However, back in my days, my parents thought that psychology or the art subject is only for students who don't do well in science. And I think that's happening even today with parents. During my career counseling, I see even today many parents are of the notion
absolutely.
Science is for overachievers. Arts comes for people who don't score more than 60% in their exams. So I was pushed into science background in my first and second PUC, and for the very first time in my life, I failed, and I was into PCMC. For the very first time in my life, I failed in maths and physics. That came as a rude shock, a rude awakening to me. And try as I might, I just could not. And computers completely went above my head. And I kept telling my parents, after second PUC, please let me take up psychology. Let me do a BA in psychology. They was vehemently again. My father wanted me to go into IAS. I said, science I'm not able to clear. What do you want me to do IAS for? Mummy wanted me to do MCA because computer science was on the boom back then. And I said, computers to hoga hi nahi mujhse. I will not be able to do it. It took me so much of convincing. Finally, we reached middle ground where they asked me to go for a BSc in computer science. And again, it's computers, math, statistics, and it was the most horrid 3 years of my life. That did not teach them a lesson again. Again, I begged them to let me get into psychology. They said, no, 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 you are mad yourself. What would you go around treating mad people? That was the idea they had. I'm
Oh
sorry, I'm not
God.
sounding offensive, but this is
Yes, yes,
what they
yes,
say,
yes.
and I quote.
Yes.
And they pushed me to my MBA. 2 years of hell in MBA, and then somehow and they put me into finance. Somehow I managed to convince my dean, and he said, okay, again, let's reach middle ground, get into HR because that's the closest to psychology you can get. I completely get you, but now it's too late for you to go anywhere else, so get into HR. I said, okay, fine. I got into HR and marketing, dual specialization, and I had about 12 years of my career, which was again hell. I had zero job satisfaction. I was not happy anywhere. I kept shifting jobs. I was doing well. Yes, I did what my boss asked me to do, but that job satisfaction was never there in me. And then it was during the COVID where I came across these online courses, and I went on to do. I said, okay, now I'm on my own. I'm an adult. I can do what I want. I have my savings, and I went on to do my certification in career counseling first. I took it on as a mission that no other child should suffer the way I did, because that's what almost 20 years gone down the drain for me. I said, no
True.
other child should waste half of his life like this. So I took it on as a mission. And then to complement that, I also went on to do a diploma and a post graduation in child psychology. And it has been, I know, better late than never. It has been life changing. It has been life altering for me. I'm working with children now, but again, it is still sad. Many parents are open minded, but there are still parents who are still stuck in that notion that my child will only do science, my child will only do AI because that's the way. I see they're not made for it, they're not cut for it, but it's so difficult. And there's one parent who was just not in tune with what I want. She went to the extent of changing her child's school. He wanted to be a footballer. She did not take my I was not pushing them, but I was trying to coax them, and even the child wanted to get into football. She changed the child's school and put him into Narayana so that he could do his NEET and become a doctor. He is not, and it really saddens me to see that parents are still
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
in that box that they don't want to come out of.
Wow. I think in some ways, all of us have some part of that journey in us in one form or the other.
Yes.
Either as us or maybe a sibling or just a close by cousin,
Right.
and yeah, yeah. Right. So yeah. So meaning, I know it's a meaning even for you all when you are talking to so many parents. I'm sure it's still a tough call to get the parents to look beyond the uh, let's say the whatever the more sought after or glamorous is what comes to my mind. Um, yeah, I would also love to hear how else can we reach out to parents and say, okay, take side of your child. Don't I keep
Right.
telling
On
people.
that note, yeah, I was just
Yeah, yeah,
thinking maybe I
please.
would like to talk to my school authorities and maybe have a webinar with you in my school where we have parent webinars every month. So I was thinking
Okay,
maybe if you could come and
sure.
have a webinar with us. I'll just talk to my authorities and get back to you on this. That would be really, really great if you could talk about Aarohi and how we can identify strengths of children and put them in the right stream where they actually belong.
Yeah, yeah, and Preeti is talking about now there are so many more options. So it's not
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
Aarohi. There at an older age, at the teenage youth level, there are so many more institutes which are not bothering about the degree and more going by being work certified or by what you do. So that's uh, yeah, as I am totally with you, Preeti. Whatever is happening is too slow because there's so much suffering happening. That's the tough part. Yeah.
Ratnesh, I have a proposal. In our organization, we have created a portal. Okay, it's a
Okay.
kind of technology-based portal in
Sure.
which we
Sure.
have created our own psychometrics. We have created our own database of the entire careers, and based on the families of careers. So it's not a typical database, but what we have done is we have tried to get the Bhagavad Gita into it, where we say connect the Swabhava to the Swadharma. So how do you understand the Swabhava of a person? Somebody is very talkative, like Nitya was just speaking, you can make out she's very, talkative person who likes to be with people and, be energetic and all that. So you identify people like that, and it comes out from the psychometrics. Okay, this person is made like this, it's his nature, it's his how his personality is. So that's a strength. So as a strength based concept, okay, you have these strengths, and where do you connect? So, every industry has got different types of roles. So an industry doesn't mean that's a career. If you look at IT, and within IT, there are different families. There's somebody who's a software developer, there's somebody who's a delivery manager. It is completely 180 degrees opposite. It's not the same. So we have created about the whole database is existing, the whole system is existing. There's an algorithm, it's multiple languages. So we want to reach out to the masses, because it's the masses who require this more. Because even the urban children are still getting the guidance. But what about the children in the villages? What about the children in the tier 3, tier 4 cities? They have absolutely no guidance. They're still living in those dark ages. So we wanted to create something for them. So we have a portal. So what I would suggest is, I'm trying to aggregate these kind of institutions like yours and try to make it available as an input to the parents who come to us, saying that, because parents need convincing. It's not the children. Children will anyway get, shaped up. But the parents have to be bought in. So we do sessions with the parents to make them understand that life is not what it was in 70s and 80s. Life has changed. There's a new world out there. There are so many opportunities available. There are institutions available. So we will be very happy to get you on board onto our system itself. And, we could possibly collaborate, co-create, understand the needs of parents, and we could create systems which are available for everybody to use. So that's my proposal, which if you are happy, to do it.
Definitely. Definitely. We all have to, in different ways, get together to make this moving. Absolutely. Absolutely. In whichever form.
Step
Absolutely.
I would like to come to your place and, spend some time with you, so that we can also understand it well. And,
yes.
Once I do that, then, it becomes more, I would say.
That's the best part. If you come and stay with us, you can actually see how children are doing. Then I don't need to talk, right? Right now, I had to play videos and all that. Then I don't need to play anything. In fact, you will be having a ball of a time with them. Somebody is doing something. Somebody is doing something, right? So that's.
Another thing is, another proposal I have is, there are many institutions like Vidya Kshetra is there. You are there. There is a place in Konkan called Sapna Ranch, where I have gone and stayed there for 10
Hasmukh
days.
Wala, yeah.
Hasmukh Sapna Wala. So I've been part of his system also, and then I've been part of all these groups. So I'm seeing, like, in pockets, a lot of these things are happening across the country. A lot of people are doing wonderful work like you, but they are all in small, small pockets, and not many people are even aware about all these things. I'm just trying to see if we can create an aggregation of all this and make it, a kind of an outreach program where we can reach out to the masses, and we can get all the parents and children to know that this kind of thing exists. So that's my dream that I'm looking at.
Within our capacities, we have tried that. That's why all the people of Vidya Kshetra or Mr. Hasmukh, we know all, they know all of us. So I think within us, we all know. Yeah, Jinan. So,
is another,
So all of us kind of know each other, met each other, worked with each other, as I said. But we also tried doing that, but anyway, our focus was to working here with the children. We didn't want.
I know.
So yes, absolutely. If somebody can aggregate that, present it to, I'm sure if parents see many options, then they might start thinking, okay, these are more viable, because right now the machinery, the juggernaut is so big, it is just very, very difficult for parents to step out of it, and which is why we say
it is not. In fact, the last 10 years of mine, whomever parents you have worked with, I've realized that parents are very open nowadays to take these steps. It's not like the seven, but they need that support system. They need that confidence building. So I think with people like you and us around, all of us around, this confidence building can happen, because we ourselves are parents. I've got two sons. They have taken a different path. I'm a postgraduate engineer, but both my sons have taken arts. It's perfectly fine, and they're all doing well in their lives. So its parents are open, but they need that confidence. They need that awareness. They need that confidence. So I think that's what is the call of the day.
And I think that is where you all play a very important role, because when parents come to you to seek guidance, and I think that time they are seeking something, so they are more listening kind of thing. They are more open to understanding, and which is why we are also trying to reach out to more and more counselors, because I think at least, as you rightly said, at least in the urban setting, at least the parents are going to counselors, are going to coaches to see beyond and find solutions. Though, yeah, the rural is still struggling with different aspirational issues. Yes.
For me, I'm not from a counseling background or something, but
Sure,
when I
sure.
joined my institution, the first duty that I was given was, because library is one space which is always used for exams and other things. So the first duty that I was given was to the examination duty of special need children. So way
Sure.
back in 2008, that's when Tare Zameen, I think it happened the same year, but that's when in reality, maybe in school when I was a kid, there were children who were slow learners and all, but that's when I identified that this is there. There are children who don't know how to write spelling, or even those ADHD, whatever you say. And I've seen autistic children there. And that's when that tinkled in my mind, that when you see in classrooms, 40, 45 students, when the teacher says that she or he is not able to manage because of these children, they're kind of pushed back. So
Sure,
you feel,
sure.
because as a mother, you feel that pinches you, that how could one, keep that child behind just because he or she, they're not able to manage it. So for me, as a librarian, it's like library should be a silent zone. But for me, it was different, because I used to train those children buddying up with, like, how they have to take care of the child, and that really worked. And
Yes,
when you
yes.
have these ADHD children, when you involve them, giving them some responsibilities, that is when they feel that they are,
Absolutely.
being used for this. And then meltdown comes, and then they are with the flow. They are with the
Yeah,
flow. So you
yeah.
have to work with them. So as a storyteller now, what I do is, in Spectrum, we have a bunch of more than 30 storytellers from different states. Voluntarily, we are doing storytellings on, especially for inclusive, changing mindsets. So as a storyteller, we can also talk about a series of institutions, because as you said, some parents are open, but still 90%, 10% parents may be open, but 90% are still on this dot that science is everything, engineering and doctor is everything, nothing beyond that. I have
Sure.
two kids, two sons. One has done his master's in geoinformatics and remote sensing, but he was very clear that he wanted to start his own startup, so he's doing that. And the younger one wants to game development, so he's into animation and all these things. So I think we have to give that space. Lots of suicide that is happening in all the reputed institutions. The parent, when something happens, they say that they blame the institution. They are not looking why the
Sure,
child
sure.
took that step, because the life skill is missing somewhere. So as a storyteller, I definitely like to collaborate, and we are
Absolutely.
into changing mindsets. So we can talk about, like, we can have series where we can talk about certain institutions where parents can freely, without any second thought, can take their children. So thank you so much for showing all
Please,
those
please.
videos.
So yeah, so once again, inviting. It's almost it is 5 o'clock. So inviting all of you. The group is there. Please share about your work and how we can collaborate. Naveen, how you are sharing, or Nitya was talking about doing some sessions or whatever. In whichever way, Preeti, we can connect with your school. However, we all can make wherever we can make a difference. It's not just that everything has to happen here. We are just showcasing what we have been successfully been able to do, though with smaller groups. But the time span is amazing. We started in 2008, so it's been a nice and long, and we have so many stories of children who are now all adults. In fact, recently we had a get together and all these adult children came back, and it was so nice to see all of them in their own ways blossoming and moving ahead. So let's use this group. Let's share more. I will also share as many stories you want me to share, or whatever else, in whichever way we can also support you. And let's all work together. So I would say thank you very much for joining in. I'm so excited and so energized, feeling very energized. And yeah, let's continue our good work together. Yeah. So thank you, and we'll continue in the group. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye. I will share
Thank
the
you so much,
recording
Rajneesh.
also.
Wonderful meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful
you.
meeting
Yeah,
all of you.
wonderful meeting all of you. Yeah, thank you.